And so I want to show you guys a good reactor that they showed me that's really good. I'm actually going to build it for my series for my house when I port my house into the server probably this weekend or tomorrow. And I just wanted to, they're here with me, Invent, and they're going to actually help us explain their reactor using Redpower and Industrialcraft. It's really handy, really awesome, high input, built-in saves for automatic turn off, all like that. We're going to build it together from the ground up. So that's all this episode is going to be, is this reactor. So I'm going to go ahead and chime in and let them know we're ready to begin. Alright guys, this is Llama right here. Let's say something so they know who you are.
Hello.
Alright, and there is Zeno.
Hello.
And they are going to show us how to make this reactor of theirs that they put together. Who wants to start?
Alright, I think I'll start. This is originally designed by a friend of ours called Egoa. It is a Mark IV Eternal. What that means is it is a low maintenance 500 EU per tick nuclear reactor. Alright, let's go ahead and go with some of the steps here in building it. I think I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, well, it always starts the toggle switch to make sure it's on and off, with a repeater running into the bottom chamber reactor just to make sure it goes straight in. And after that, we need to put in a fail-safe system in case the buckets do not pass through, which does happen sometimes, so just to make sure we're going to add that settings.
Yeah, so basically this thing has a fail-safe, so it's not working correctly. And so instead of exploding, it'll shut itself off.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get us some water.
Right now he's just laying down the Redpower stuff.
Initially set to 2.5 seconds. And this NOT gate is basically saying when there's no power coming from the toggle switch, it'll send out a pulse. I have to separate these cables, of course, or it's just going to cross over. Okay, so when there's no power running into this NOT gate, which means when the toggle switch is facing towards the reactor, it will send out a pulse to these two timers, thus stopping them. And when you turn on the reactor, pulling the power away from the reactor, it will turn off the NOT gate and the timers will run. There will be detector blocks here that will send out a pulse every time a bucket passes through to keep the timers from tripping.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and go through each of those steps as well to show it.
Yeah. Could you give me some of the red cables?
So just to double check again, this is a timer right here.
Okay.
This is a timer right here.
Yes.
And this is, what's this again?
NOT gate,
And what's the top one?
a toggle switch.
Okay, thanks. And then right here, he's using the tubes from Redpower.
Yes, the pneumatic tubes will carry the buckets. And these are item detector blocks, which will detect buckets as they pass through.
Alright, right now I am setting down the frame for some of the Redpower cable that's going to run the back before we can set up water.
Remember to talk a little loud so I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm setting up some Redpower cables that we'll need later on.
And this will use filters attached to the main core of the reactor to take out empty buckets. Could you go ahead and throw some empty buckets into the filter?
Oh, yeah, hold on. I need to make an empty bucket. Haha.
Oh, and also you need to add a timer down here under the repeater for a pulsing system for these filters.
Yeah,
It will be set to
yeah,
0.5 seconds.
So underneath where that redstone was, there will be a what?
Yes. Another timer.
Okay.
Right here.
It's gonna face the reactor.
Yeah, so it pulls out both directions. Some covers. Yeah.
Let's do the Redpower.
It'll pulse into the filters, trying to withdraw every 0.5 seconds to make sure all empty buckets are out before 0.5 seconds passes.
Got the filters and the empty slots. I mean the buckets and the empty slots. And these are the item detectors. So what's the water underneath it, just to help with the cooling as well?
No,
Yeah,
the water is not intended for cooling, it's for refilling the buckets only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And another timer back here for the same purpose as the one over there. Set to 0.5 seconds to turn on the deployers and the filters. In essence, we use deployers placed next to the item detector blocks, so empty buckets will go into the fillers.
Sure. Let's see. How can I get a cover on this?
I'll get a cover on. We're going to need more cobblestone covers.
Here you go.
These covers along the inside are to protect cabling from touching the wrong machines.
What cable? Which ones are you talking about? The ones
We have
underneath.
some covers.
Okay, these ones right here.
Next to the filters, I'll run jacketed cable there for the detector block to send out a pulse to the machines over here.
Oh, okay.
Hard to do this.
Here, I'll get it for you. Never mind.
But yeah, when the empty buckets come out of the reactor, they will go through the item detector block, sending out a pulse to keep the timers in sync. And then it will pass the empty buckets into the deployers. The deployers will deploy the empty buckets with the right-click action, which is what the deployers do. And these filters above the deployers will take out the full buckets and put them in chests.
If for any reason the system is interrupted, there's a failsafe which causes the system to automatically shut down when buckets are not being sent through.
And the failsafe is that if a bucket doesn't pass through within 2.5 seconds, it will just cut off.
And that's what these timers here are for.
The timer's in front of it.
Yeah.
Now these chests here are where the full buckets will go. We'll also keep a stockpile of full buckets in there just in case any buckets don't make it and it needs to pull out more buckets. And after that, we'll add two more filters. It's kind of awkward to place it down. Just try.
Are you
Oh,
trying to put it on top of the chest? Well, okay, I see.
I'm stuck inside.
huh. It's refusing to place for me.
So what you want? Okay, you want to face that direction.
Okay. Now, these filters will take empty buckets out of the chest, full buckets out of the chest, and pump it back into the reactor. And since you can only pump things directly into the reactor core, we have only 3 chambers on the reactor. Llama, could you fill the rest of the water so they're all source blocks?
Yes.
Oh, so you have to have them all source blocks?
Yes, you do need an
because the
infinite water
deployers
source.
use this as an infinite water source.
Oh, okay. And then the timer you're making right now is to power the fillers, or filters.
Yeah, these repeaters are to set a delay so the filters run just after the deployers. Okay, seems like everything is set.
Now we just need
black
30
little
buckets.
cable here, so the detector block will actually pulse another redstone pulse into these filters up here, so when an empty bucket passes through, it signals these filters back here to start pumping in full buckets. And it is ready.
So you
Well, we still
disconnected
need buckets.
redstone from the top filter in the back, right? The one I'm looking at. Connected that to the detector block, this orange one right here.
Yes.
Okay.
It's jacketed cable, so it doesn't interact with anything else.
Exactly.
Okay. Jacketed cable.
And now we just have to fill each of these chests with half a chest worth of full water buckets.
What is this thing called again? My bad, this right here, that's on the wall.
Oh, that is a Redpower repeater.
Oh, just a
They
repeater.
have more delay settings than regular repeaters.
What setting is it set to?
It is set to a 1 tick, which is a very slight delay.
Okay.
It's it can pick up the water and then put it into the bucket just after that.
So it's not at the very far right, it's at like 1 over.
Yes.
Okay. So next you need to put the full water buckets into the chest.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to fill each of the chests halfway with full water buckets.
Do I need to do that?
Yes, you will.
Okay. Let's go ahead and put these in here. I didn't realize I needed to do this. So here we go. Put those in there. There we go. This should be enough there. Come over here.
And just to check the filters, the 2 filters in the back are set to pump in full water buckets, and filters in the front to pump out empty water buckets.
Okay, repeat that.
The filters in the back here, if you right-click them, you'll see they pump in full water buckets. And the filters back here pump out empty water buckets. Try not to get that mixed up because it may melt down into that.
Okay, so this is technically the front of the design. The front 2 have empty,
Yes.
and the back 2 have full. And the ones down here
Yes.
have what again?
Full. They will have full, so they could pump the full water buckets out of the deployers shortly after they refill them.
Okay, I put a full one in the right one.
And the left one swap.
Okay. Water bucket in all of them.
Okay. Now if you look inside the inventory of the reactor, you have to fill the top row with full water buckets.
Ah, can't shift click them. Put these in here. Like that. The full layer. Alright, they're in there.
Oh, and I forgot to add the repeater down here for the power for the reactor. That's not good, but You just put a cover on top of that timer that was down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put a vanilla repeater, or just a regular redstone repeater, on. So it will supply power to the reactor when the toggle switch is facing it. So that means the reactor is off currently.
So this toggle switch right here, which is basically powers the
Yes.
reactor. Okay.
Yes. And now,
That's the final test of failsafe.
Alright, now it's just the uranium. Is that what you need now?
Yes, 24.
Alright, let me do my awesome spawning power. I will not do spawning on my series when I port my house in. This is just to demonstrate the stuff for you guys. So, alright, let's...
You can just throw them into the reactor and I'll rearrange them.
Let's throw 24 of these in here. Oh, I wish I could shift click the stuff in there. That'd be awesome. Alright, let's get some more. Right here. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. I want... What am I doing? Oh, there we go. I was starting to get lost. Okay, let's get these in here. 5. Alright, let's see if I do this right.
The reactor's ready.
That's not 24 yet. We need another row.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
No, that was 24.
No, this is 24. Yeah.
Sure.
One more. This is 23.
Oh yeah, one more,
Yes.
you're right. Yes.
Okay, it's 24.
Okay.
Yes. And this will put out 500 EU per tick.
504 exact.
I thought it was...
Okay, there is a sort of warm-up procedure you have to do. These timers are initially set to 2.5 seconds. You will want to set them to 3.5 seconds to get it warmed up first.
Alternatively, you can just flip the switch on and off repeatedly until it warms up.
Yeah. And once the buckets start flowing at a constant speed and the timers are constantly resetting, you can set the timers back to 2.5 seconds. It does require you to start it up a few times though for it to warm up, so you might have to flip the toggle switch a few times.
However, it is a bit safer because it means that you don't have to worry about forgetting to change the timers.
And as you can see from these pipes here, the detector blocks are starting to flow, and the buckets are flowing even. And I'll set the timers back to 2.5 seconds to be safe.
Okay, so all...
And the reactor's running.
So the only thing you did was just change these to...
We might want to turn it off.
Yeah, some of the covers here.
Why?
Oh, these
Oh,
covers
turn it
here
off
are
because
to
it
prevent
wasn't
the pipe
feeding
from
enough buckets
directly
quickly
into
enough.
the empty bucket chest, basically.
Oh, so it was the tubing was not supposed to be connected to the chest
Yes.
on the sides? Okay, so you used the plating to separate it. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to refill a few of these buckets with that.
So, the only thing you did to warm it up is you changed the timers to 3 seconds? Or 3.5?
Yeah, this time I think we should demonstrate the other method. It's slower, but it's slightly safer because you don't have to worry about changing anything.
Could I have 2 full water buckets in the reactor? I don't have 2 empty ones left.
Yeah, sure, I'll put them in there. Okay.
Okay. You can demonstrate the startup seconds time on.
Okay. So this way, basically you right click it, let it run, and if it's not warmed up, it will automatically switch back. This time it actually was warmed up. And you flip it again, turn it on, it'll turn itself off. Like, there you go. That's an example. It was not fully warmed up. So I flipped again.
So for it to be running, you want the switch to be facing the reactor, right? Or away?
Yes,
It's running when it's away, and it turns off again.
when you supply redstone current to the reactor, it turns it off as essentially. So, taking away the redstone current will turn it on.
So basically, you just keep flipping the switch. You said it turns it off by itself, right? That's how you're warming it up. You turn it on.
It's warmed up.
Wait until it
If you look
turns
at the
itself
reactor's
off and
inventory,
turn it on
the
again.
buckets are flowing in and flowing out at the perfect rate. They are getting evaporated just as the calculation says. And that's basically it. It's pumping in buckets just fast enough to prevent it from overheating, and it runs at average heat. No thermometer mods on the server right now, so can't tell exact heat, but it is safe relatively. Just if this on server, avoid server restarts or unloading the chunk, because that's always a danger in nuclear reactors.
Yeah, on server restarts, it's very, very risky, and so is
Yes.
server setbacks or rollbacks.
So you basically.
It's good to turn the reactor off when you're not there.
Oh, okay, cool. So if you do unload the chunk with it on, have you had any problems with that, or what?
The
Unloading
buckets
a chunk-
sometimes stop
no.
flowing, and the failsafe usually kicks in, but there's some instances where the failsafe does not kick in, where we don't know why. But it does melt down sometimes.
So get yourself a reactor room. What would you insist on a reactor room if they don't have access to bedrock?
I would recommend 3 layers of reinforced stone. If you'd like to go for the extra protection, I would highly recommend 5 layers, just to make sure you seal in all the backblast and nothing gets damaged outside the casement.
Yeah. What was also, you guys had a specific reason for not using the fiber for the glass for the wiring? You want to explain that?
Well, energy is sent in packets, and technically the high voltage cable is able to handle it, and there's not much EU loss since it only goes about 6 blocks before it runs into an HV transformer and gets run out with a glass fiber cable. You can use a glass fiber cable, it's just that this design choice we decided to use HV cable instead.
Because occasionally you can get ultra voltage bursts. It can,
Yes.
You never know.
And so then the cable would burn.
So, if,
Yes.
yes, if the server was to restart randomly or something like that, the tick rate of the server jumps about 200% for the first few seconds it's on, and that could make packets 20 times their size.
Okay, so you would pretty much connect. You want to connect the wiring to it real quick? How you would do it?
Yeah.
Do I need to give it to you?
Yeah, I would just run high voltage into a HV transformer outside of the chamber, just to make sure that any jumps in tick rate won't cause any meltdowns.
Okay, so we want to do a quick recap of pretty much what we've just done, start to finish.
So we built a control module here, which is a toggle switch that can power the reactor when it's facing towards it, and powering this NOT gate when it's not. When the NOT gate is powered, it sends out a pulse to these timers, and when it is powered, it will make the timers on. While the timers are on, they will run for 2.5 seconds. These detector blocks are supposed to pulse out every time an empty bucket passes through. If it pulses out and an empty bucket passes through, it resets the timers, thus meaning the failsafe works properly. This timer here is just a heartbeat for the 2 filters that pump in the buckets. It's set to 0.5 seconds. In the back, we have the detector block pumping the empty buckets into these deployers. The deployers are powered by a heartbeat from this timer, which is also set to 0.5 seconds. And the repeaters here delay the heartbeat just enough for the deployer to finish before the filter turns on. And when the filter turns on, it takes the full buckets, puts them in the chest, and then when an empty bucket passes through, it also sets off this jacketed cable, which powers this filter, which will pump in fresh buckets.
Okay, I think that basically explains all of it.
Yep.
So you said it was...
It's a very efficient design, and I think I am starting to death.
Get some food.
Or possibly.
Put your helmet on.
Have some rotten flesh. Delicious flesh.
Alright, I do appreciate you guys for taking the time to show me and everybody else how to do this. I appreciate it very much.
No problem. We would love to share this. We
So,
would
would you like to see the quad reactor?
What am I seeing? Let's go look.
We should show your viewers what you can do
Yes.
if you're crazy.
Alright,
And-
let's
and
go.
you're
Crazy, and you have a nuclear genius on your team.
Yes.
And basically what it does is it involves a bug/feature in the way reactors interact with each other. So reactor chambers are treated like reactors, basically. So this is it. It's
Oh my god.
basically 4 reactors that act like one reactor.
This is the king. This is a Mark
If you look
20
here.
reactor.
Each reactor is a separate reactor, meaning it has different chambers. And these reactors are standalone, but the feature in Industrialcraft, the way reactors interact with each other, is that they treat other reactor cores next to each other like chambers. So basically, you have 4 reactors that have 2 chambers on them.
And so they cool each other off.
Yes. And all of this pumps out a solid 2,000 EUs per tick, average over 10,000 ticks.
Oh my god.
The control and board is relatively similar to the last one, it's just a bit more complex, as you can see. We are a fan of the bundled cables to make sure everything is neat. I would not like to go into the specifics of how this is built, because really this should never be built anywhere, really.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just
And
seeing
if you
it.
check the mass fab in here. The mass fab generates a good amount of UU matter.
Let's look.
It's only been running for about an hour, and it's gotten 34 UU matter.
Oh, for an hour? Okay.
Yeah. And when it has scrap, it goes a lot faster. Actually, do you have any scrap, Llama?
Here, I'll put some in it just
No,
to
I
see.
can go get some real quick.
No,
Oh, he's gonna put some scrap in.
I'll
Yes.
put some in so you can see it.
Oh, okay.
It can't really go fast enough.
Yeah. It takes 96 uranium cells per cycle, which is sort of expensive. Efficiency isn't very high, but it's high enough. And it's one of the most powerful reactors made using no chambers at all.
So, what was the output you said again?
2,000 EUs per tick.
That's
So
ridiculous.
2,000 times 20, so...
I believe it was 200 million EU per cycle.
40,000 EU per second.
Wow.
On a single player setting, of course, since there's 20 ticks per second.
Yeah.
But of course on this server the tick rate is slower, as with all multiplayer servers, so you probably won't get the exact same results.
And this is something you'd want to encase in like Bedrock or something.
Yes, this is a bedrock only machine.
It took a lot of talking with the designer to get him to build this on the server.
Who's the one that built this?
It
This
got
is also an Egoa design.
Oh, Igua. Oh, nice. Nice. You had this approved, right?
Oh yeah, when CBL built this tower, he said he basically approved anything in it.
Oh, so is the tower is made out of Bedrock?
Yes.
Nice. Looks like obsidian for me for some reason.
Yeah. Obsidian and Bedrock
The
is
textures
similar.
are slightly different from each other.
And I guess that's about it. We have Aperture logo on the side of the facility I want to show. This whole facility is about
And
65
Gordon
by
Freeman
65.
approved this message.
Yes. Chuck Norris also stopped by and said he approved the message as well.
Alright, I definitely appreciate it, and would like to let everybody know that since I will be moving my series to the server, you can expect more things like this in the future. And that's probably it for this episode, and hope you guys enjoyed. Appreciate you guys taking your time to help us with that, and we will see you guys next time.